for Commanders fans. As you guys know, of course, the Chiefs won. I said the Chiefs were going to win. I said they were going to win 30-24, but it ended up being 38-35. So it wasn't too far off. If you did tail the picks on Prize Picks, I had Travis Kelce getting a touchdown, Kenneth Gainwell getting over 1.5 receptions, so I hit on that. But I did miss on the field goals for the Chiefs kicker. He missed that one kick. He would have got over, but he missed the kick. Also, shout out to Vigit. Make sure you guys join the group chat on there, and also the free fantasy sports betting league. 17 ages or older. If you do win the league, it ends March 7th. You win a free NFL jersey. You can win free prizes on there as well with your coins. As many games as you win, you add up on coins. It's free 99. It's free for everybody. So join in there. It's super fun, super lit. Right now, Aaron is the leader on the leaderboard. He's in first place to win the NFL jersey at the end of the month, or end of next month, or beginning of next month, March 7th. So, but yeah, Jalen Hurts looked good, man. He did. He looked good. He did look good. But that fumble hurt. And James Bradbury, he did hold, man. It was a penalty. Now, were the refs consistent? No, but that was a penalty. It was. So let's get to the real news here for the Commanders. So Jeremy Fowler came out. John Keim came out with a report earlier today that the former Ravens offensive coordinator Greg Roman is set to interview for the Commanders offensive coordinator job on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, per sources. Also going to be interviewing Eric Bieniemy this week as well. So I'm intrigued, of course. We knew this news with Eric Bieniemy, but now Greg Roman is the new candidate. So Ron Rivera, and of course, if you guys didn't hear about Sean Payton, what he said in that interview on the Mad Dog Sports Show, basically Sean Payton said that new owners potential owners for the Commanders were asking him to be the head coach for the Commanders. So that's pretty big news. That's pretty significant too. That shows you that this year really is a lame duck year for Ron Rivera. That's why I'm not really invested in this Commanders offensive coordinator search, because I know Ron Rivera is going to get fired. Like, whatever new owner comes in, they're not going to want to keep Ron around. They're just not. Now, when they come in here this first year, I think they'll let Ron stay, depending on what time they buy the team. If they buy the team in April or April or May, then you have no choice but to let Ron Rivera just ride it out. You're not going to hire a new coach in April and May, or really in late March, to be honest. But if they would have bought the team like now or within a week or two, then yes, I think they definitely would have been able to try to get Sean Payton in here or another head coach, and just fire Ron Rivera off the jump. So, but yeah, Eric Bieniemy, I'm intrigued. Why not? I think he should be. I think he's capable of being a head coach. I think he should be a head coach. I hate that he has to go through this, jump through hoops just to become a head coach, and to show people that he's not just an Andy Reid, or that Andy Reid's calling all the plays. Andy Reid vouched for him during the Super Bowl, and there was a report that Ben Stanek just came up with the Athletic saying that he was the one that drew up the play to Kadarius Toney and drew up the play to Sky Moore for the 2 red zone touchdowns. And we struggled in red zone efficiency, and those were 2 really good plays. Kadarius Toney was wide open on the one side of the field, and then Sky Moore was wide open on another side of the field. This is the article. It says, on Saturday night, Bieniemy had put up a play on the screen for everyone on the Chiefs offense to see. It came from the Eagles game against the Jaguars earlier this season, and it featured Jacksonville receiver Jamal Agnew faking as if he were going in motion before stopping, reversing course, and getting open for a touchdown. That's basically what you saw with Sky Moore and basically what you saw with Kadarius Toney. So Eric Bieniemy, he's highly qualified to be a head coach in this league. I get it with all the extra off the field stuff back in his past and what Shady McCoy said about him being abrasive with players. But I think he really should be a head coach in this league. If Jeff Saturday could be a head coach, and Josh McDaniel and Adam Gase and all these guys getting multiple jobs and stuff in the league, Josh McDaniels, Eric Bieniemy is super qualified to be a head coach in this league. So I do think he would be a solid hire. I think he would be a good hire. Learning under Andy Reid and just calling plays as you see in the Super Bowl to help his team win games. And he was offensive coordinator of the year back in 2020 when they won the Super Bowl. Coach Adrian Peterson, all that stuff. Was a running back, and Ron wants to run the football, so we know that. So I think Eric Bieniemy would be a good hire. So we'll see what happens with that if he chooses us or the Ravens, or if the Ravens choose somebody else. Let's move on to Greg Roman. So Greg Roman, Ravens fans, they can't stand Greg Roman. They just can't. So, but Greg Roman, man, everywhere he goes, he wins. Look at Colin Kaepernick. Look at Alex Smith. Look at Tyrod Taylor with the Bills. They made it to the playoffs with him. Look at Lamar Jackson, MVP one year, MVP candidate in a couple of years. You look how the offense, how he helped Lamar Jackson develop, looked as good as he did that rookie season, looked as good as he did, or great as he did in his sophomore year. Every year. Now, I know Greg Roman doesn't pass the ball much at all. RG3 said what he said, where wide receivers did not want to come to the Ravens, but running backs and tight ends, it's a perfect offense for them. And I do think we can run RPOs with Sam Howell. He's a dual threat quarterback. He can run. He's shifty. It's just a bowling ball, pushing guys around, running guys over at times. I do think we could run. I'm not saying we're going to run a Lamar Jackson type offense, but RPO, zone reads, read options. I think we could do that with Sam Howell. Sam Howell did that in North Carolina, so I think Greg Roman could do a good job of that too. So I'm intrigued with Greg Roman, man. I know Ravens fan will say he's trash, but a lot of people say he's trash. I didn't get to watch Ravens games because when we played at 1, they played at 1. We usually played at the same time, so I didn't get to see many Ravens games, but his number speaks for itself. I mean, when he parted ways, the write-up for him was rush yards by a quarterback in the season, Lamar Jackson, 1,206 yards in 2019. Most games in the season with over 200 yards rushing, 6 in 2020, and most consecutive games with over 100 rushing yards, 43 from 2019 to 2021. In addition, the Ravens offense under Greg Roman was first in NFL history to have 3 700-yard rushers in consecutive seasons, 2019 and 2020, and it's still only the offense over to average 200 yards rushing and 200 yards passing in a season, 206 yards rushing and 201.6 yards in passing in 2019. Now, I get it. Hollywood Brown complained about the offense. We've heard Lamar Jackson complain about the offense. It's not a perfect offense. Passing the ball, your numbers are going to go down. So Jahan Dotson's numbers will probably go down. Curtis Samuel, maybe Terry's numbers will go down. But Hollywood Brown did have a 1,000-yard receiving season with the Ravens. So maybe he could make it work with our receivers. But we do know we're going to run the ball way more. And we would have to get another tight end here. Other than just Logan Thomas. I like John Bates and Cole Turner and Marty Rogers. But if you're going to have Greg Roman as your offensive coordinator, you definitely need a better tight end in here. Mark Andrews was really good with the Ravens as well. So Greg Roman, I wouldn't be mad at that hire. I wouldn't be mad at that hire, to be honest with you, because everywhere he goes, there's success. Kaepernick, Alex Smith, Lamar Jackson, Terod Taylor for 1 year. Everywhere he goes, say what you want to say about Greg Roman, but he's a winner. You look at his track record and his numbers, he wins games, and he takes teams to the playoffs. So I'll say that about Greg Roman. And, Pedro brought up a good point in his video. Wink Martindale, who got fired as the defensive coordinator for the Ravens. A lot of Ravens fans were ridiculing him and saying he's trash. Look what he did with the Giants this past season. They had a pretty solid season defensively for the Giants. So I get the Ravens fans' frustration with Greg Roman. But look, man, I think B-Rob, Antonio Gibson, and Sam Howell, or, I think they could be a nasty dual threat quarter. I think Sam Howell could be a dual threat quarterback, and then 2 really good running backs. And those 3, the trio, the big 3, as I call them with our wide receivers, I think they're a legitimate 3. I won't say big 3, but I think they're a legitimate 3, a legitimate trio of receivers, and we get a better tight end in here. And this offense will be nasty. Of course, the offensive line has to be way better than what it is. But I think this offense can be really nasty, man. We have a lot of potential and a lot of talent on this offense. But yeah, Ron Rivera's a lame duck coach, man. That's why I'm just not invested in this offensive coordinator search, because I just know that this year is really going to be Ron's last year. And if there was a competent head coach or owner in here, Ron would have been fired, because when you say that you didn't know that you could be eliminated, he should have been fired right there. And he's shown enough. 7-10, 7-9, even though we made the playoffs, 7-9, 7-10, 8-1. He's a lame duck coach, and he should have been fired. So, but he's taking his time doing his due diligence with this offensive coordinator search. It's fine, but we'll see. All right, you guys. Hello, Commanders. Peace.